Good afternoon, dear colleagues and dear audience. I would like to introduce you my PhD topic. The title is Investigation of Techniques and Materials in Vitopulp Therapy. So my name is Péter Komora. I'm a clinical specialist and at this moment first year PhD student at the Department of Restorative Dentistry and Endodontics. My vision is the minimal invasive endodontics, and my mission is to reduce the invasiveness in endodontics through evidence-based science. In order to fulfill my mission, we are working on two specific goals at this moment, and both of them are systematic review and network meta-analysis. Some words about the first topic is the comparing the efficacy of bioactive materials in vitopulp therapy. It's a systematic review and a network meta-analysis. So some words about the background of the topic. The root canal treatment is an invasive treatment option and result in loss of tooth vitality. After the literature, we can calculate with quite a good success rate, but really important to emphasize that the failed root canal treatment could end up in tooth loss. The vitopulp therapy aimed to preserve the pulp vitality in order to avoid the root canal treatment. The MTA is the mineral trioxide aggregate, is the gold standard bioactive material for vitopulp therapy. But in the last 10-15 years, a lot of new materials came to the market with promising clinical properties, and therefore our aim is to compare the bioactive materials in vitopulp therapy. We conducted the PICO framework, where the population is the permanent teeth with vitopulp therapy. Intervention group is the bioactive materials, the comparator is the MTA, and the outcome is the clinical success rate of the vitopulp therapy treatment. Our hypothesis is the new bioactive materials are at least efficient in preserving pulp vitality than the MTA. We conducted our systematic search in 4 different databases, and at the end of the selection we have 14 eligible full-text articles. And let's see our results. Our outcome is the success rate of the vitopulp therapy after 6 months, 12 months, and 24 months. On the first slide, you can see our network plot. Here, the orange circles are representing a bioactive material. The size of the orange circle represents the number of the patients who were treated with this type of material. The lines between the materials represented the direct comparisons, and the number on the lines representing the number of studies where this direct comparisons was investigated. On the next slide, you can see our outcome for us plot where the materials are compared to the MTA. The zero event is the MTA, and the squares are representing the point estimate, and of course the confidence intervals are the lines. And if the point estimate on the left side, it means that this material performs better than the MTA, and if the square is on the right side, it represents that this material performs worse in a clinical condition than the MTA. And here you can see that we have just in case of calcium hydroxide and calcium hydroxide, I see it means the light curing version of the calcium hydroxide are performing worse than the MTA, and this is a significant result. The other important information what you can see on the slide is the P-score. It represents the ranking of the materials, and the P-score is technically a possibility that this material is in the right or in the proper place in this ranking. And here you can see that the MTA is on the first place. Let's see the 12 months results. Here you can see that already the MTA is perform the best material. Here we have also some significant results in case of Teracal. IC, it's also a light curing material, and in case of calcium hydroxide and calcium hydroxide IC, and on the P-score you can see that the MTA is first in the row, and the second one is the biodentin. Let's see the 24 months results. Here you can see also the MTA is on the first place, and the Teracal IC calcium hydroxide, and in case of calcium hydroxide IC also significant results. we have to emphasize that in case of CEM, the confidence interval is really wide. And the reason is that the CEM was investigated just in one article, and it was directly compared just with the MTA, so we have to be cautious with this result. And in the P-score, you can see that the MTA is also on the first place. Our study has some strength. We used randomized clinical trials, and we have a really high sample size, and we used an integrated method for the success rate calculation. And of course, very important that it's a network meta-analysis, so the methodology is also a strength of our study. The limitation, not every arm in the network is really strong. For example, the CEM, and there are comparisons just with one study, and it could be also a limitation for a study. As a conclusion, we could say that the MTA is the most effective material for vital pulp therapy at 6, 12, and 24 months respectively, but the biodentin could be a suitable alternative to MTA. This is our implication for practice, but really important to emphasize at the 6 months results that there we don't have a clear winner between the material except the calcium hydroxide. So that means that after 6 months we cannot really could evaluate the success of the vital pulp therapy treatment, and we don't recommend the calcium hydroxide in clinical application for vital pulp therapy. And we have some implication for the research. The results need to publish after 6, 12, and 24 months, respectively. We need more randomized clinical trials where we investigated the novel calcium silicate sealers. And really important to emphasize that demographic data were published really poorly in the investigations, so it would be also really important a proper publication in the demographic data. And let's see the progression of our first project. We finished the manuscript, and it was sent yesterday to internal review. Our main target journal is the International Endodontic Journal. It's a D1 journal and the first endodontic focused international journal. Some words about the second topic is comparing the root canal filling quality of calcium silicate-based sealer. It's also a systematic review and meta-analysis of in vitro studies. Some words about the background. In particular, pulp and periapical prosthesis is the only option to save the tooth at the root canal therapy. And it's an essential step in root canal therapy to maintain a well-sealed root canal system. The H+, it's an epoxy amine resin type material. It's the gold standard material for sealing of the root canal systems. But new calcium silicate-based sealers came to the market, and these have some promising biological benefits. So our aim is to compare the different sealers in root canal fillings. So clinical question, is there a difference in root canal filling quality of different calcium silicate-based sealers to AH+? Our population is also the prominent major extracted teeth. Our intervention group is the calcium silicate-based sealer, and the comparator is the AH+, and the outcome is the quality of the root canal filling. Our hypothesis is the quality of root canal filling with new calcium silicate-based sealer are improved than with the AH+, and our clinical and research implication is to evaluate the quality of root canal filling with calcium silicate-based sealers. Here you can see our search key, and we are in the selection process at this moment. At the end, I would like to show you the overview of our two ongoing projects, and I would like to thank for your kind attention with the words of John F. Kennedy. We choose to go to the moon in this decade and do the other things, not because they are easy, but because they are hard. And thank you for your attention.
Thank you for your presentation. I have a question about your second topic. Do these calcium silicate-based fillers are used right now in practice? And if so, I was wondering because your second project is based on in vitro studies, if I understand well. And I was wondering if this kind of sealer is used in practice, what are their microbiology activity is like, and another question or maybe suggestion, if you'd like, it would be interesting to see on your outcomes if this kind of sealer is also good in case of, for example, you need to retreat the tooth, right? Because a good sealer has to also have the property of being able to retreat the teeth if it's the case.
So thank you for your question. So it was really long, so I would like, or I try to answer. So at this moment we are using the calcium silicate-based sealers in the clinical practice, but the clinical trial doesn't show significant differences between the calcium silicate-based sealers and the AH+. So we used, or we try to use the in vitro studies, because here we have the option to investigate the extracted tooth with micro CT. There we could reach a really high resolution, and we can see how many gaps are between the sealer and the canal walls, and it's really interesting for us. The other part of your question is the microbiological activity of the bioceramic sealer or the calcium silicate-based sealer. So this type of sealer has a special setting process, and through this setting process, the pH is really high of this material. So these have some antimicrobial activity, and because it's a biocompatible material, it hypothesized that it doesn't make any problems if it goes through the root apex, and it doesn't make any problems in the tissues around the roots. But the truth is that this material need also some space if it's going through, so it's also not beneficial for the long-term success of the root canal treatment. But some of the companies emphasize this effect of these materials. But really important to know that these are really expensive materials, and at this moment in the literature, I didn't see any reason to change the AH+ to a bioceramic or a calcium silicate based sealer. But we are interested in this topic, and we would like to investigate what is the real properties of these materials, and what can we be waiting for after our treatment with this type of material.
Thank you. And if I may have
last very short question. If everybody else has a question, if not, you have a short question or comment?
Yeah.
Please.
I saw that in your first project, the calcium hydroxide had not really good effect in the first 6 and 12 months, but then after 24 months, it had better effect. And I was wondering if you have like any explanation for that?
First of all, I think the problem is the consistence of this material, and the calcium hydroxide could solve out through the pulp direction as well. And the calcium hydroxide doesn't have so good sealing ability than the MTA or the biodentin or the other type of materials. And I think it's one of the main reasons that the calcium hydroxide doesn't work really effectively in this type of treatment.